Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know we're winding down and everybody wants to go, but this is very important and I don't know how much time I'll get with you in the future. You're the candidate I know the least out of everybody. And to be quite candid, for those of you who don't know me, I consider myself on the front lines of what I call the parental autonomy movement, okay? I am very involved in this and I'm very involved in the state superintendent election. You said, and I wrote some notes while you were talking, that you like to shoot straight. I use the word candor. I also appreciate candidness, and I'm very candid myself. So, as I said earlier, I'm going to ask some tough questions, but I think that these need to be addressed to be fair to everybody. My thoughts and the people who, excuse me, appreciate my opinion and follow us and our group and what we do, and to be fair to you. I am very concerned. And I want to, you mentioned 3 things, I'm going to just briefly mention those, but I'm very concerned about the people who on social media expressed excitement for you running. Democrats, Kathy Maness, Kyle Guyton. Again, I'm transparent. I will never keep anything I say as a secret. Kathy Maness is a liberal, loving leftist and praised Jesus by the act of God and all of our help for Ellen. She won in the runoff. I'm very concerned that those are the people that support you. That does not stand for what I stand for and what the parents that I surround myself with support. So I want to know, my first question, what your relationship is to those types of people in A, the Democratic world, B, those types of people who hold very deep political, educational positions. I'm very aware they are on the Educational Foundation. I've done my research. Coker, I think, is on that as well. You know, I'm very concerned about that. The definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. This is the same thing, to be quite honest. I hear your words, but on paper, it's the same thing. What do you have to say in regards to that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I don't mind it at all.
Thank you.
To me, I cannot control who supports me.
I understand.
I really can't. In fact, I'll tell you the thing, I've never really gone out, when I've run for school, I've never gone out and asked for endorsements. Hey, you endorse me, so all these people will vote for me. Hey, you endorse me. I mean, I've called county council members. I heard you mention Darryl before. I've called them to say, hey, I'm running for school board. I wanted to introduce myself and wanted to talk to you one-on-one and let you feel me out and see if I'm what you're looking for. Now, those conversations have turned into sometimes people going out and sharing my post and doing these type things. I cannot control who supports me. All I can do is just be myself. And then if they say something I did wrong with them, so be it. It's just like in real estate. You can't control who you sell a house for all the time. Sometimes they call you and say, hey, can you help me sell my house? If you sold a house for a liberal, then make it liberal. You follow me?
I will plead the fifth because I own a real estate business. But
Oh, I'm sorry.
I see you've done your research. You can break up with people. Sometimes it's better for everybody.
I get that.
It takes a strong person to say, I'm not for you, you're not for me, and that's okay. You also mentioned being able to agree to disagree.
Oh, absolutely.
I completely respect anybody's opinion who's different than mine, but I like to be clear what mine is, right? So I think that's a fair question for somebody running for not only what I consider a political office, but it's the most important local level political office because it's my children, their children or grandchildren, and all of our futures, to be quite honest. But I appreciate the answer. You also mentioned, are you familiar with Proviso 1.93?
I am not.
Okay, so that's a very important proviso. I don't know how you feel about CRT or SEL or any other acronym that is going to be implemented. I have sent 10,000 emails today to multiple teachers about if I ever see that, I will walk it to the governor's office myself. I will type down Wilson, I will show up at Alan's doorstep, and I will make sure that everybody is reprimanded, the school, the teacher, and everybody else. My question is, because of my concern about who follows you, my concern is that you potentially support those things. Now, whether you call it ABC, SEL, CRT, whatever, and if not, do you support reprimand for teachers who are taking loopholes to teach those things? And I will give a perfect example of today, day 1 of school. 5 books, I'm only 2 months into my daughter's reading list, all anti-racism. One is about a black girl who got raped at 16, overcoming being black and being raped. I'm sorry. A Muslim girl also got raped. I'm not sure why that my daughter, freshman at Gilbert, actually, excuse me, she's not at Gilbert, needs to read about that. So perfect example today, that's day one, I'm only through October in the reading list. Do you support any reprimand for teachers who go outside of any proviso or any legislation that might be passed in the future? And what does this look like to you? Sorry, long-winded.
No, you're good. I mean, to me, I don't feel like the CRT is being systematically taught throughout the whole district. I really don't. But as a board member, I feel like if there is a individual teacher who's trying to circumvent that process, that needs to be dealt with on an individual basis. And basically on my watch as a school board, I will never support anything that's going to help systematically put CRT across, a school district. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have several people in my organization, and some of them wear the Biden hats, some of them wear the Trump Make America Great Again hats, and I basically have to tell them, now listen, it's okay for you to have that opinion, but you can't be in here in the control room trying to influence everybody else and and tearing up the whole control room because this guy wants to fight you because he believes this and this guy believes that. But what we have to do in those cases is bring those people in. I bring them in my office and I just talk to them individually. I don't put them on blast in front of everybody else. I just say, hey, this is what needs to happen. We got to make some changes here.
So you would agree for reprimand if a parent brought it to the attention?
Yeah, I mean, if they brought it to the attention and we were able to investigate it and make sure that is the case, yes. But we are in a country, this is my point, we are in a country where you can't just accuse somebody and then somebody, goes to jail because you accused them. You gotta make sure you got the proof. But if you got the proof, yeah, they should be reprimanded.
And again, I promise y'all I'm almost done. I wrote down a sentence that you said, and you said, quote, if there are inappropriate books, we need to look at them and see what is age appropriate. When you say we, I presume you meant the board. I guess, in my opinion, I as a parent hold every single right, and I appreciate the teachers who do what they're supposed to, but if a teacher or a board member or a superintendent feels as though they are the we, so I want to clarify what you were talking about there. I will never agree with that personally, but anybody in this room can take that to however they feel, but I'm curious what your clarification on that is.
So go back to something else that I said earlier about how you are the servant to your constituents. So the we, I could see the we being a board member with the board. When I speak in terms of me being on the board and a board functioning like it should. So that's what I mean by the we. You're getting input, and then consequently, you're in the room where it happens. You can make those decisions. You can say, listen, this book right here, this is information that I have. I heard you mention a particular board member that goes in and has to kind of go against the grain. I know that board member also. I don't just know the others that, I know all the board members, and I know some of the things they have to fight. But to me, you've got to take time to be available to understand what the whole of your constituents desire. And filter through the noise and figure out what's a legitimate concern. And then you use your power and your influence to correct that. That's where the we is. It's not just a 7 going, this is what I think.
I understand.
You have to be a learner and not a knower.
I appreciate you being in the hot seat.
I probably
Sure.
bad.